Hello. Hey, everybody. Great to see you all in the chat. Hello over there. Welcome. Great to see all the members there as well. Thank you so much for your support. Welcome, everybody. I'm Natalie, and this is Scientology Life After a Cult, where we talk about the Scientology news. It has the internet buzzing. We talk about my 35 years in Scientology, leaving with 3 generations of my family. And throughout the week, you're going to catch me doing interviews with different people in the ex-Scientology community, in the protest community, and beyond. So when you hit the subscribe button, make sure you set your notification bell as well, so you get notifications when those videos pop up. Because you'll catch me pretty regularly in the mornings, but I'll be popping up. So you want to make sure you got that notification bell sent. Would love it and appreciate it too is if everyone here could go hit that like button as well, which will help us get notifications out. Thank you so much. Thank you to my mods who are here this morning. Nancy's here and my Tony is here as well, which is great. We're going to cover a whole bunch of stuff. In Scientology news, there is a ton to talk about, from protests to interviews going on to questions that some of you have about many, many, many things. I don't even know how to preface it, but we are going to get to it because I've gotten your emails. I hear you, and we are going to talk about it all. I want to thank, is it Onita for becoming a member? Thank you so much. I love and appreciate that support. Okay, I want to let you guys know too, because it is solar eclipse day, and hopefully you're in an area where you'll be able to see it. I don't believe that we are. I'm in Minnesota. But take a look at this. Today, if you go over to Poe on the Go, it looks like Poe on the Go is going to do the solar eclipse live from Buffalo. So I'm hitting like, I hit my notification. That's on. Going to keep an eye out for that. So if you have any interest in that, you can check it out over at Poe on the Go. I thought that was really interesting. We are going to go a little bit back in history before we jump into current news. You guys, if you've been with me since the beginning, way, way back, I'm talking like December of last year. You know that part of my Scientology story in growing up in Scientology is I was born and raised in Hawaii, and that's where my family got into Scientology. My mom married a Scientologist when I was 5 years old. She joined staff at the local Scientology organization and did services there. While she was there in the evenings and weekends in Waikiki, I was about 9, almost 10 years old at the time, and my sister would have been about 8. We would hang out outside Waikiki and try to sell crayon drawings that we would make for money for candy. And we would go talk to this security guard across the street named Mark to try and sell him in fact, he did buy some of our drawings. And next thing we knew, we were being banned from Scientology temporarily, which was kind of nice at the time. Long story short, it was because that man turned out to be Mark David Chapman. And I've got a little clip from a news piece that was done way back when, after Mark David Chapman went to New York and did what he did in murdering John Lennon. And it's just an interesting little piece of history because you guys know a little bit of the backstory where when I was a kid, I'd go over there. My mom was a body router for Scientology. Her job was to get people into the org in Hawaii to do the personality test. That's how they, rope you in, find out what's ruining your life and tell you only Scientology can handle that. So I would give the spiel to Mark David Chapman about, hey, you should come over and do a personality test. And I've always wondered, because I did hear that he did go into the organization. Did I inadvertently, send him over when we were kids? I don't know, but there's just this ancient news piece that we're just going to look at from back in the day, because I thought it was interesting, and a few people sent it to me because they came across it as well. So this is the cult of Scientology in Hawaii, and this is back in December of 1980 after Lennon was murdered, and they were investigating Mark David Chapman.
At the Church of Scientology, they knew a different Mark Chapman.
All of a sudden, this guy, Chapman, just jumps in on me and starts screaming at me about this place being a cult and something really peculiar, and attacking me and swearing at me. And I couldn't believe it. The guy and I looked at each other and kind of looked over at Chapman. And I thought, well, let me see if I can, just talk to the guy sanely.
What was his physical demeanor when he started verbally attacking?
He was kind of jumping around and dodging his head. Oh, yeah. Crazy.
He would stand out in front of the apartment building. Now, The women that lived in the apartment.
I remember Dennis Clark when I was a kid. I'm so amazed looking back on this that you just don't see Scientologists, especially staff members, allowed to speak to the media. But back then it was a different world in Scientology in ways.
He seemed to know every single one of them by their first names and would greet them very cordially. Then other girls walking by on the street would get obscenities, hey baby type remarks.
What I found interesting is it seems like Scientology was watching him, kind of had an eye on him. But that's the whole thing. That's kind of Gypsy Mimi. This is exactly my point. Even a nut like Chapman calls cult of Scientology a cult. When somebody like that is saying you're a cult, calling you out as a cult, and he is not the only one, by the way, you might kind of just go as Scientology, don't you? Go, oh my gosh, even the criminals and obviously people who are committing heinous crimes think Scientology is a cult. They don't see it. They're not going to see it, but interesting piece of history nonetheless. Now, yesterday, I sat down with Oh No Nora and we did a deeper dive into the recent allegations against Brian Kent, an attorney who's on the board for Child USA. He's on the board with Mike Rinder, and there are accusations out right now via a complaint filed by a Jane Doe about inappropriate relationships and manipulation on his part. That's just absolutely gross. And there's a lot of questions around, okay, how does this affect the other cases about Scientology? Because he was supposed to be representing these people and he was referred to, or these victims of Scientology were referred to him as an attorney as well, allegedly by Mike Rinder. And during the taping of the Aftermath, Scientology Aftermath show. So let's take a little look. That was yesterday. And you know, Oh No Nora, she just tells it like it is, gets right into it, was filling us in on what was happening. Recommend you go watch the whole video when you have a chance because she just does a great job. Check it out.
Psychology 101 pulls this Jane Doe in, and then, you know, oh, hey, I want to cash in on that massage in my hotel room.
Yeah, while you're in town.
While you're, I flew you in. And then when the case starts heating up, when actual actionable stuff is going to happen, the DOJ wanted to interview them. And of course, she's smart. She wanted to have her lawyer there.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I can't. Oh, man, I got a foot cramp. Can't be at that meeting. I don't know. My eyelashes hurt.
With the DOJ, what lawyer who is representing?
No lawyer's going to refuse that.
Exactly. That's really suspicious.
Even if they had been banging for 10 years at that point, a lawyer doing his job would have been like, let me get my good suit.
Yeah.
I mean, like, give me a break, because this just shows that this person, Mr. Kent Esquire, had no purpose in taking this case. Psychology 101 pulls the
so many questions. I know that we will continue to talk about it as more information continues to come out about it. If you see something, say something. Email me, Natalie at lifeafteraccult.com. Send me clips of videos with a timestamp. Go ahead and send articles, anything like that that you see that catches your attention. It really helps me a lot. There's so much content out there around Scientology at this moment, and I love it, and I'm here for it, and I consume a ton of it, but always can use more eyes, more ears on it. So please do. If you see something, say something. Natalie at lifeafteraccult.com. All right. Now, I've gotten a lot of emails around and questions about what is the deal? What's happening? Why is Chris Shelton calling out protesters? All this stuff. And I don't have complete answers for you, but there's enough of you reaching out and sending me clips that we are going to look at a couple things that might be able to fill in those blanks as to, what might be happening. I mean, honestly, I'll be straight up with you guys. These are questions probably more for Chris Shelton, and you can find his channel here on YouTube, Critical Thinker at Large. We're going to take a look at a clip. We're actually going to look at a couple that people sent where some of these questions are arising from, because he is upset about being called out apparently by, well, you know what? Let's watch it and then we'll talk about it. And you guys tell me what you think in the chat. Tell me what you think in the comments. If you're catching this on the replay, I want to hear from you.
And after 10 years of doing this work right here on this microphone, interviewing people, spilling my guts, sharing my story, helping people one-on-one, I am sick and tired of people coming and lecturing me about how I'm not doing enough. These are people who have no concept of who they are talking to or what I have been up to. And I'm not even putting myself on some pedestal like I'm better than everybody else. Just know who you're talking to, right? 10 years. It's very, very annoying to be lectured at by people who just found out about Scientology, about how little I'm doing about it. So
and they're
anybody,
like, a lot of them
you know,
were never ins, right?
yeah. And these are people who have no concept of what any of this is even about.
Yeah.
So that gets real old real fast. And I'm
Okay, that I will be honest with you, that clip makes me cringe a lot because you know that here on the channel that we love people never in Scientology. And I recognize, and I'm always saying, we would not be as far as we are or be making the impact that's being made on Scientology and people leaving Scientology today if it weren't for so many people never in Scientology standing up and going, hey, you know what? That's not okay over there. No, we're not standing up for that because you may be never in Scientology, but you were all in on taking down the cult. So that's just what I got to say about that. And now let's see. You guys definitely have some strong comments about this. There is one more because there was a question about, well, where did this originate, this an upset that he might have with current protesters of Scientology? And I think that he explains it, talks about it here. Let's take a look.
the people who do that not only didn't want to talk to me, publicly humiliated me for reaching out to them. This guy, William. So I'm supposed to be impressed by that. I'm supposed to apologize to these people for that. I don't think so. I don't think so. Ugh. Enough about that. I support 100% peaceful, rational, good, well-organized protests, not TikTok click on me and send me super chats every 3 seconds.
Yep.
That's not what this is about.
Okay. Feel free to click on me and send me super chats every 3 seconds. I just want to be like upfront about that. Oh, I think there's a little more.
This is about helping people, and it's about helping people in the cult, and it's about helping people get out of it. And if you can't see that, then you're just not part of the solution. You're part of the problem. And you might think you're part of the solution, but if you're not working at helping people, you're not. And it's possible to help people in and out.
And I agree with that. It is possible to help people in and out of Scientology. And that is always the goal in my mind. The more awareness that we can raise about the abuses in Scientology through a multitude of platforms, and the attention that these protests have brought to this has been really huge. It's been very impactful across social media, which let's be honest, that is how news travels now. That's how the word gets out. That's how people find out about these things in the modern world today, is through social media and harnessing that power. Sorry, I'm just laughing at some of your comments there. And yeah, if you guys had any other questions about it, I would suggest you direct them to Chris Shelton. I don't know a ton about, remember, I'm fairly new here. I showed up in December. I'm trying to wrap my head around understanding what the issue is. And yeah, so there you go. It looks like what is gone with the gale. Chris Shelton needs to learn, if you have to say the thing, you're not the thing. Also, he's just jealous no one cares enough about him to send super chats. Yeah, if he was getting about a bunch of super chats, I think you might feel differently about that. And I'm all for people making a living here and doing this on YouTube, whatever your platform is. If you're out there protesting Scientology and you're able to make a living while you're doing it, then power to you, because it is a lot of work and it can be draining at times. And you're putting yourself out there in ways that really open yourself up to, like here, for like different criticism and things like that. So I am all for whatever gets you here to expose Scientology. I'm all for it. I don't care if you're out there protesting and it really is just for clicks and likes. Personally, I don't care, as long as you're doing it and getting the word out and shining a light on this and exposing Scientology. For some, it starts out that way. And the more they learn and the more they become educated on the abuses in Scientology, it becomes a passion. It becomes something that they feel very strongly about. And I respect that. I really do. Gabriel Badwolf, thank you so much for being a member for a month, by the way. This is what I meant by you were the first to make us who were never in feel welcome because of people with egos like him. We love your SPTV mom. We love you at your SPTV mom. Also, you made up the term never ends as well. I don't think that I did, actually. No, I heard, I think I celebrate it, I appreciate it, and I think there's a lot of positivity and power to that word. And that's why we've been making the merch on my channel, Never in Scientology, but all in on taking down the cult. And I know how much love and appreciation I have gotten from all of you since day one, since I sat down and did that interview with Aaron. So I felt that impact. I saw the impact. I see the impact. I see what they're doing. I'm hearing from the under the radar Scientologists. It is making a difference. So thank you, all of you, truly. You keep showing up. I will keep showing up, and we will just keep hip, hip, hooraying ourselves through this, through exposing Scientology. Okay, let's see. There's Nancy. I think I'm gonna, there's a clip I'm gonna skip just for time. Let's go over and look at, this was really interesting to me. Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology did an interview yesterday with, oh my goodness, I should have written down his name. Jacobson or Jacobs, I think is his last name. He's like an OG protester. He's got incredible photos on his website of protesting back in the day. It's fantastic. And he sits down with Aaron and talks about that, what it was like, what they see as working, what can be helping for protests today. And it's an awesome interview, but there was one specific part of it that made me go, what? I had never heard this story about Mark Bunker, who back in the days of Anonymous was referred to as Wise Beard Man. That was his name back then. And I think still is he's referred to that way. And I love it. Jeff Jacobson. Thank you, Jeanette. Jeff Jacobson. This is his interview with Aaron. And I never heard this story about Mark Bunker before, possibly inspiring the anonymous protest movement almost by accident. But just take a look at the story. Aaron shares it here.
That I have wrong. Please jump in and correct me in a video. But if I recall correctly, Mark told me that someone had leaked him this video and he put the video up wherever it was. It wasn't YouTube back then. It was somewhere else, right?
It was on Mark's own website, I think.
Okay. And then the person who leaked it to him asked that he take it down out of some concern. I think he was too afraid it was going to come back to him. And then Mark took it down, but there was an impression that Scientology had somehow gotten it taken down, and there was all this outrage. He's like, oops, I accidentally started Anonymous.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Anyway, this that I have wrong.
Oh gosh, I've been wanting to sit down with Mark Bunker because, like I said, not just has he been on this Clearwater City Council, but he has been exposing Scientology since back in the Lisa McPherson days as well, and was very involved. And I think that is just hilarious. And back in the day, that 2008, 2007, when Anonymous was doing their protests, it was so great to see him out and sharing about these things. And Tori Magoo as well, Tori Magoo 44. I know we've got a clip coming up about Tori as well. And I thought that was, it's a great interview. You should check it out. The other thing, we're going to jump to another clip on Aaron's channel. I hope he continues to do this. Late last night, Aaron's a bit of a night owl. I'm completely the opposite. I'm like up before the sun and would happily go to bed with the sun going down. I don't. I stay up a little later than that. But Aaron's a bit of a night owl, and he jumped into multiple live streams last night while he was live to kind of help get the word out about that, about here are these different people protesting. Here's what you can see on their channels. And I thought it was so much fun. I want to see more of that. I hope he does that. And let's take a look. He jumped into a live stream, I think, for Sassafras right on L. Ron Hubbard Way.
More people. I quit my day job so I can help you get out.
Oh my God.
There are more people out of Scientology than there are in.
How do I jump into the live chat,
There's
though? Where's the
less
live
than
chat?
20,000 in the entire world.
Why is there no live chat? Oh, show chat.
David Miscavige is a criminal. He's a cult leader.
Okay.
Oops.
All right, here we go. Say hi, you're live.
You can come out. You're free to leave. What?
Uh-oh. Sassafras is getting in trouble, y'all.
Okay, I'll stay right here. You can leave.
I just thought it was so great. I think he went on Hollywood Ajas and a few other ones as well. I love that because, again, I believe anything that we can do to bring awareness to the different streams and the people who are out there, boots on the ground, protesting Scientology is a good thing, including mini streets. Mini streets is one of my favorite things about these protests. Confident Chris, you can find him here on YouTube. I've got links down below to all the videos that we're talking about. And Confident Chris released another mini streets episode where he is confronting the poster thief, because you guys, if you caught my recap yesterday, we covered Confident Chris and Jessica Palmadessa spotted an older gentleman going around ripping down the posters that DOA put up for the SPTV Foundation, how people can find help leaving Scientology. And they busted the guy doing it. And of course, Mini Streets showed up to help as well. Check it out.
These guys are goofy as hell. Look at all these guys holding the poster still. Look at these guys. These guys are thieves. Stealing our posters. What kind of stuff is that? That's how you know your cult is ending. That's how you know. Get back inside. Why don't you? Why don't you get back inside where you belong? Look at that. Look at that. What type of church you see taking down posters and getting caught? What type of church you see doing that? Ain't no church care about all that. What type of church?
I just love it. And the hoodies are just amazing now, too. I know somebody sent him some of the hoodies that say the Good Father on the back of the hoodie for Mini Streets. I can't get enough. I honestly can't get enough. I absolutely love it. Yes, he is hilarious. And we talked, in fact, if you go on my channel under my shorts, I made a short of an interview I did with William Good, and he reacts to the Mini Streets videos, and it's absolutely fabulous. He loves it. I think we all love it. It's just such a great thing. Such a great thing. All right, let's check out. Let's see. What do we have here? Hold on a second. I have what might be a rogue video, and I don't have a note on why I saved that one. All right, we are going to go look at, there was a barbecue off L. Ron Hubbard Way. Everybody getting together. Tori Magoo 44 was there, which was absolutely fantastic. And this is on DOA, Defender of Ant stream. And Tori Magoo 44, who's also here on YouTube, you want to go ahead and subscribe to her channel. Tori is another OG protester of Scientology. She worked for the Office of Special Affairs as well. Her job was to handle critics of Scientology, and she crossed over. And she shares some information about exposing Scientology recruitment during 9/11 and what Scientology was doing to try and manipulate and take advantage of a lot of hurting people when that happened. Check this out.
No, it was when 9/11 happened.
Yeah.
They put underneath, because Bush was the president, and right underneath it, they said, for medical help, call this phone number. And I was on the internet out at the time. And I said, that's the Dianetic hotline.
Oh,
You know, and they're 100% against mental health, right?
yeah.
So we all called the TV show and said, look, this is Scientology. This is Dianetics. They hate mental health. So they immediately took it off of TV. So it was gone.
Yeah.
And then I called the number, and the girl goes, Dianetics, modern science of mental health. And I said, are you honestly pitching that you are for mental health?
Right.
Are you kidding me? And she goes, well, it says Dianetics, modern science of mental health. It was just like,
Such a robotic voice.
it was unbelievable.
No, I remember that.
That was on the TV.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I
For
do.
mental health, that was the Dianetic. No, it was.
Just love it. Tori's just got, she'll just pop in with some like amazing story or information, even things that help me remember, like, oh gosh, I forgot about that. That's right. That happened. That's right. That's a Scientology tactic. She also called the SPTV Foundation during the barbecue to say hi, which was so cute. Check it out.
Hey. Yeah, nobody's answering.
I know.
What time is it in Florida?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that might be.
SPTV Foundation. Please leave your name, number, and message after the tone.
Hey, we were just trying to call. We're having a barbecue out here in LA, and we were just calling to check and see how you're doing. This is Tori Chrisman, and I'm with a bunch of friends, and we're here, and we were going to call and see how you're doing. But
just barbecuing right outside of Scientology. You know that, oh gosh, you guys, if I was smelling barbecue while locked behind in the blue buildings as a Scientologist or as a Sea Organization member, ooh, that would be hard. That would be difficult. And in a way, I feel like even barbecuing in front of Scientology is a protest in and of itself, because when you smell that, you're like, oh, that's right. Wait a minute. When's the last time I had barbecue? Why don't we do barbecue? Why can't I be free to do barbecue? When's the last time I went to a family get together and enjoyed that time together? They hear the laughter and see what they're doing, in addition to activities that are more traditionally protesting Scientology. It's that fellowship. It's that making friends and hanging out and having a good time and getting all those posters up. Those have been fabulous. Love seeing Tori out there. Let's go over to Chicago because there's some stuff happening over there. Nancy Drew was in Chicago outside the organization, and there was an agitator who showed up. And you got to watch the whole video because he's there for a while. But she just like calls him out and ends up getting rid of the guy, even when the police really didn't seem like they were going to or could. This is Nancy Drew in Chicago protesting Scientology.
You got cameras all in people's face.
This guy had stopped and was getting in their face. Even when they weren't putting him on camera, he kept going in front of the cameras.
People watching the rally, there's the cameraman over there, like the stove or something. Somebody call me a hot dog. I ain't never ate no hot dog around here.
He's still here. I don't know if they can realize he smells of alcohol, and he has an alcohol container in his hand. He did. I think he hit it. Oh, he covered it. Okay. When he was in my face, he really smelled like alcohol. Isn't that public intoxication? Definitely not alcohol. I know. I get it.
Okay, and is that a dog stroller? You guys see that? I just thought that at the end was just, don't get me wrong, I love it. I love it. It's got a thing at the top for the dog's head. But mostly the point of that clip was to show you that Nancy Drew called him right out on the open container that he was walking around the street with. And that seemed to do the trick, where he was suddenly like, oh, wait, I could get busted for public intoxication. Maybe now I'll walk away. Also in Chicago, trashy V12 BMW was warning a couple of young ladies about going into Scientology. And they were with an older woman who literally pushes one of them in the door while Trashy was trying to educate them about what's really going on with Scientology. Check this out.
Oh, guys, you don't want to go in here. This place is not a good place. They have children.
Okay, I just got a capital call out. Timu Patrick Perry. Oh, that's so funny. I don't know if it should be, but it's funny. Okay, back to the clip.
Auditing adults, asking them sexually explicit questions. They split families apart. Don't even give them your information. They'll take your information and they'll contact you forever. This is not a good place. I don't know why you just pushed her in there, ma'am. I'm in public. I can film you all I want.
Wasn't it interesting that the young people actually stopped and listened? They were in a big rush to get in there. The woman actually shoved her right in there, but they were listening. Even the second girl, the younger girl, when the older woman was walking away, was like, wait, what? I'm telling you, this is exactly why Scientology is struggling to recruit the second and third generation younger Scientologists because they're more hip to it. They're growing up. They are growing up with technology and social media as a normal part of their daily lives. It is a lot harder to hide it from them, especially when we have people on every social media platform exposing the abuses within Scientology and why it is a human trafficking cult. So share those videos, make those shorts, like and subscribe because word is getting out there, especially to the young people who still can make a choice, especially when they come of age and are going to be leaving the home and getting out there. Maybe some of them, they want to go to school or do something else. They have a choice on what they're able to do, or they should have a choice. But they are so heavily pushed in Scientology to follow that path into Scientology, unless their parents become hip to all of that. Now, let's go over to Sacramento. There is a new live streamer in Sacramento. Her name is Kelly. Got a link down below to her channel. She went out, did a video, and had an amazing conversation with a Scientologist. I mean, it went on for a long time. We're only going to look at a little bit of it, like a minute, but go check out the whole thing because it is eye-opening, the conversation that she has with a Scientologist. Let's take a look. Hold on a second. Let me get this pulled up. I've got it turned up as loud as it would go or will go. So you might have to turn things up on your end as well. Check it out.
It's not a video on YouTube. It's people getting on and telling their stories. And that's why I said maybe look into it because you can look in their eye.
I have no reason. I have no reason to be
Because
associated
it doesn't.
with those kind of people. I have no reason to be associated.
But with people that are.
So Kelly was telling her like, hey, you know, there are people online who are Scientologists who are sharing their stories where you can get this information firsthand. This is not hearsay. And the woman's response was a very Scientology one. I have no reason to be associated with those people. It is automatically, if somebody is sharing a story or experience about Scientology that is negative in any way, they're not allowed to hear it. They're not allowed to view it. They're not allowed to interact with that person. It's really crazy. Let's watch more.
Victims of abuse?
If that was my job, then yes, I would go help the people with victims of abuse. But I would do it with traffickers, or I would do it with children.
I'm glad you said that. Yeah. That is the court case. Do you know that Scientology is being held in court right now for trafficking?
So
do you know that?
No.
Okay, it's true though. Look it up.
I don't know.
It's not fake news. This is in a court of law, and they're like, no, I'm serious. David Miscavige was actually finally served.
You are spending,
trafficking.
You are spending a lot of time listening to people that are not telling
the truth. It's not people; they're court documents.
Okay. Well, if that's where
and we're talking about minors.
She goes on to say, the Scientologist, well, if that's where you're going to find out your information, I just can't help you. Oh, from court documents, from actual court testimony. You guys, this really, really shows you how Scientologists get their information from one place, and that is Scientology. If it conflicts with the Scientology narrative, they don't believe it, and the source of the information is discredited, unless that source is L. Ron Hubbard or David Miscavige. If it's not coming from Scientology itself, that is where they take their direction. Once in a while, you get a Scientologist that goes a little rogue, like myself, gets a little curious about these rumblings of abuses, and actually takes a look. And for many, that is the beginning of taking a step out. This woman in that moment, the Scientologist is saying, hey, I have no reason to associate with those people or go on YouTube and read and see those things. But it's a seed that is planted, that Kelly has planted while she was out there. She had like a 10, 15-minute conversation with this woman. It's a seed that has been planted, which let me tell you, it's going to stir. It's going to stir in her brain. It's going to sit there and grow. And when this woman hears and sees more, she might just be brave enough to actually go and take a look. She might get curious about Scientology. Google it. That's what that ad should actually be. Instead of, you can go to Scientology.org, sure. But I think it's a better thing. If you're curious about Scientology, Google it. Then you get all the information, including Scientology's narrative about Scientology and the experience of members who were once in. Google it. Google Scientology. Let's go over to Portland where Rika was. They had some amazing signs, you guys. Great sign tech going on out there. Let's take a little look.
Every time a horn honks, a Thetan gets its wings. Oh, that's great. Somebody brought, this is awesome. Thank you to whomever, Mama Squirrel. Thank you, Mama Squirrel. This sign, we have, oh my goodness, we're killing it on the sign tech. That is vibrant. I love it. Every time a horn honks,
I love that too. Somebody had written in the chat, every time a horn honks, a Thetan gets its wings. Maybe that is the real way to free body Thetans in Scientology. I mean, I know L. Ron Hubbard says that they are the souls and the spirits of people from other planets that were dumped into volcanoes here on Earth by Xenu 75 million years ago and blown up with hydrogen bombs. And they're stuck to us. But maybe instead of Scientology auditing, they are freed the minute you honk a horn in supporting exposing Scientology. I'm just going to go with, yeah, I think that that is how it happens. And it is a new technology to get rid of your body Thetans. You heard it here first. Actually, you heard it out of Portland. I think it's a thing. It's a thing. Honk away. I'm going to be in my own car out driving, honking today just to get rid of the body Thetans. I should do it when I'm driving by Scientology. Okay, let's go take a look at Denver. Over at Jay, Denver Scientology audit. Boy, was it windy. It was so windy out there. It was crazy, but Jay was out there. And Scientology's tarp tech was really a fail because it's being blown down in the wind. You can see that. Let's take a look at what Jay had going on. Denver Scientology audit.
It's okay to leave Scientology. Ask yourselves, what are you not allowed to be critical of? Just look at your wife covering her ears so she can't hear the truth. How much money will you give them until you realize it's a business and not a religion? Wake up, people. Y'all do not deserve a tax-exempt status. Pay taxes on the shit that y'all shovel. Wake up.
They were walking by, and did you catch the ear block tech? Did you see it? She was like, oh, can't hear that. Can't hear that. Can't hear that. Don't see you. Can't hear that. Can't hear that. It is just too much. I'm telling you. Thank you, Midwest Kid. Thank you so much for becoming a member of the channel. Hip, hip, hooray. Parallel Jen, thank you for the super chat. Great to see you here. Absolutely fabulous. And Dina, I hope I'm saying that right. Thank you for that super chat as well. I get it now because earlier I'm like, super chat me. That's right. Chris Shelton would not approve of this. Zippy, thank you so much. Oh, I am just punchy today, you guys. I'm telling you. That's why I'm like, whatever. I am so glad that you guys made it here for the live and that you were seeing what I'm seeing, right? Capital call out, not the ear blocking. It's something that, for one, it probably doesn't even block it out. But I got to tell you, I've been watching Scientologists respond or, try not to respond to the different protests and protesters. And so much of it is trying to block it out and not actually receive the message. That's actually a good sign because it means it's getting through. They recognize it as being something that they even need to block out. And these conversations one-on-one are so powerful. Now, most of these protests, in my opinion, what they're going to do is they're going to stop people from getting into Scientology in the first place. That has really dried up. You just, especially any of you from the ex-Scientology community, you'll remember how much busier these organizations were in the last, in the 13, 14 years since I've left Scientology. I've seen a dramatic drop in the number of people that we're seeing in the organizations. They were struggling back then, but now it is just next level. Belgarath, this super chat sent on behalf of Chris Shelton. Oh, and if you guys are catching up, you got to go back to the beginning where we watch some clips and then you will get it. Sassafras, hey, yes, no more new recruits. Exactly. You were out there. So Sassafras was out there last night and Erin had jumped into her stream and you're seeing that. You're seeing it just like there's nobody there. There's nobody home. And we're seeing things like what's happening in Chicago, right, Nancy Drew? I'm very curious. I know we're going to learn more about what is happening with the staff's housing. Why are they being put 8 to 9 people in a studio apartment? Scientology is renting multiple floors in the building next door, and residents have come out and said that they're moving. They're leaving, that they don't want to be next to a Scientology recruitment machine. I kind of want to tell them, you know what, just hang tight, because they're losing people. They are just like, it's like just bleeding. It's just they're hemorrhaging people. It is getting a lot harder. Those people who are under the radar are even kind of taking more of a stronger stance and coming up with more creative ways to avoid Scientology for the time being, because some of them can't yet openly leave Scientology because they're working on handling family connections or maybe business ties. F. Scientology is renting the bunk beds, full rent to make money. You know, they probably are. That's the thing. I don't think they're paying for it for the staff. I bet that they're having to pay for it. I bet. It's just another super, super red flag. And yes, Annette, I agree. I think that is the best thing the protesters are doing, is helping the people not going through the doors because of the info the protesters give. And we see that. We're seeing it at the blue buildings. We saw it happen over and over again outside the Hollywood Testing Center. We're seeing it in other organizations all over the place, the country, even outside of. There's fun things happening in Australia when it comes to Scientology protests as well. So much awareness that's being raised about it. Yep, Kate, empty street tech. That's what it is. Empty street tech. Every day, all day. Grandma, life is grand. Great to see you. I love that name. I love that. I absolutely love that. Let's see. Catherine Churchill says, I loved William's response to Cult of Scientology's reaching out. Oh, I'm sorry. No, Chris Shelton. I loved William's response to Chris Shelton's reaching out and the timing of said reaching out. Okay, I probably should have included that because that helped me understand the story too. We will have to find that. That was something on William Good's community page on Scientology Audit Streets LA that Chris Shelton does reference in the clip we shared earlier. Well, William Good called him out. And actually, I do believe from that post that it was William Good calling him out on, throwing stones or something like that. We'll have to relook at it and revisit it so we can chat about it. Surrounded by Scientology. Hey, George, T3 days. The prep for your visit continues. Yes, we are getting there. My Tony and I are going to be heading to Clearwater this weekend. We're going to be there for a few days protesting Scientology. I have not been to the Flagland base since I left Scientology. You know what? I take that back. I did years ago. So it was probably maybe 13 years ago. I did go to a reunion of some ex-Sea Org members, but I don't remember going by the flag building. We were at the Starbucks though. That's right there. So I've not really been back there. I've been in Clearwater, but not back at the flag buildings. And I'm so excited about it. And my Tony is excited about it too. We had so much fun protesting Scientology in Chicago and meeting so many people. Hit that like button, y'all. Thank you, babe. It is going to be fun. There is some stuff, you guys. I can't remember which people have announced that they said they're coming, but a bunch of some of your favorite creators are coming as well. It's going to be a lot of fun. Things are going to kick off towards the end of the week. So keep an eye out. When you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification button, because there's going to be a lot of popping on live and things happening around Clearwater this weekend. Hiding out loud. Thank you so much for that. Chris Shelton wanted me to share my hard-earned money. Stayed up with Aaron last night. He's a rock star with the protesters. Thank you for that. Hiding out loud. I love that. Hiding out loud. I love it. Bad Thayton, glad you made it. Hello, all. Late. All that matters is that you're here and that you go back and catch up so you don't miss anything. We had some really good clips today, really good ones. Did I see? Oh, hey, Trashy. Great to see you there. Trashy V12 BMW is a young man out in Chicago protesting Scientology. He was the very first one out there that I saw, actually, that really started sharing about Chicago, him and Shannon, and then they were going in the trash and finding all those documents from Scientology. That was something. And I'm glad that they're still doing that. And there's even more people out there in Chicago. Windy City Thayton, Nancy Drew. It is fabulous. All right. So here's what's going to happen. I do believe tomorrow, we're going to be doing some interviews this week before I head out of town. I am going to do my live recap every day while I'm also out of town and do live streaming from Clearwater from the Flagland base as well. Tomorrow, I got plans to sit down again with Tori Magoo 44. And guess what we're going to do? We are going to go through a document that Scientology's Office of Special Affairs created, their actual plan to get rid of her. We're going to go through it, get Tori's reaction to that. We're going to be doing that probably sometime tomorrow. Also, tomorrow, I'm working at a time to sit down and chat with Apostate Alex about the Paris protests and what he has been up to. So far, he looks like he said he can do it on Tuesday. I'm just waiting to hear on a time for that. So set your notification bell because that should be an interesting interview as well. Sounds like tomorrow's going to be a real busy day. Now that I think about it, because Tori's later in the day. It'll work out. It'll totally work out. All right, you guys. Oh, that's funny, Emily. Aaron's got a sunburn working in his garden and painting in preparation for you guys coming. He's excited. That's so fun. We are too. We're not only do we get to go protest Scientology in the heart of Scientology, but I'm looking forward to seeing and meeting so many of the other protesters, First Amendment auditors, people in the X community. And let's be honest, getting my feet in the sand. My Tony and I, it's been a while, especially for him since he's been to a beach. So we are looking forward to enjoying some sun and sand as well at the same time. Because you know what? It is cold in the Midwest where we are. It is. Lori, we cannot wait either. Really looking forward to meeting you in person. Absolutely. I love that Tina in the last 20. Trashy, my brother from another mother. That is awesome. From a poet, the chat with Alex is going to be wild. Yeah, I think it's going to be great. Just need him to commit to a time tomorrow and we will be good to go. I made a couple suggestions. We'll see if any of those work for him. Mama's life. Looks like she's here in the chat too. Good to see you. I think even Lara FM was here earlier. Lara, I didn't say hi if you're still there. I just wanted to say hello. Hello. All right. So hit that subscribe button with that notification bell because there's some really interesting interviews coming up that we're going to do on the channel. So keep an eye out for that. I might hop on later today to do kind of a life travel update to let you guys what's going on with our upcoming trip for my dad's funeral in Hawaii and how I'm going to tie that into visiting the org there in Hawaii at the same time. Who knows? Maybe even some of my family will come with me or maybe some other people. In fact, if you are in Hawaii and you would like to protest Scientology there and visit the org with me, email me, Natalie@lifeafteroccult.com. It's looking like it's going to be early May. So let's keep talking about that. And I'll see. I might be able to hop on with more of an update later today. All right, you guys. So that is going to be it for me right now. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for your support in being here, watching the videos, liking, subscribing, sharing, all of your support, which makes it possible for me to be here. You guys keep showing up. I will keep showing up. And I hope you guys get out there today and have an amazing cult-free day.